Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all my Cardfight Vanguard Witch deck profile for standard format post Miyagi Academy CF Club. Wanted to do an update to this deck. Actually, this is the first time around working on the Witch deck for standard format. I was always a big fan of Scarlet Witch Coco when she was released early on in Vanguard. She didn't receive any more support really until about set 7, and I'm glad that they remade her in standard format with a bunch of other Witch cards. So tried mixing in all the Witch support we do have for standard format, since that is the main focus of the Witch deck, just to utilize those cards to gain additional imaginary gifts, which I think is really cool. The fact that we've seen Excel decks be able to add on additional Excel circles, being able to give additional protect markers, I think is a great take on, you know, just the protect kind of deck overall. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So to start off, for the grade 3s, I run 4 Scarlet Witch Coco, one of your main grade 3s in the deck. When written on from a grade 2, you draw a card. So if you're on grade 2 and you draw after writing this, not only do you get the protect marker, you'll also be able to draw one card. And she has another effect of once per turn, you can counterblast 1 and soul blast 1 grade 3, draw 2 cards, discard any number of cards with Witch in their card name from your hand, and get the same number of imaginary gift protect at the number of cards discarded. So you can really set up your hand with perfect cards depending on, you know, what cards you go for the discard. Most of the time, it's not really that much of a loss for the Witch cards to grab perfect cards. Obviously, they're much easier to use for guarding big attacks against your opponent. So if you can set up your hand with plenty of gift markers, it's really going to make your opponent, you know, hate going up against the defense you set up with all the draw power that OTT can normally do on its own as well. So a definite 4 of for her definitely helps the setup for the deck. And then for backup grade 3s, I also run 4 Wisteria Witch Zozo. With this one, when it attacks, reveal any number of imaginary gift protect from your hand, and 3 units in your front row get plus 5,000 until the end of turn for each card revealed. And for example, if 2 were revealed, these 3 units get plus 10,000. So really big numbers can made with Zozo. If Coco is your, you know, defensive grade 3, Zozo is definitely one of your more offensive ones to use. And then the Vanguard or Rearguard effect that she has, when its attack hits a Vanguard, you counterblast 1 and draw a card. So even if you have Coco on Vanguard and you call Zozo to rear, you can still have that draw pressure for a counterblast. And if you have her on Van and 1 on rear, those numbers can still hit for pretty big alone without a boost. So you can attack your opponent's Vanguard for some big numbers all together, depending on how many protect markers you also revealed in your hand. And then just to test out for the grade 3s as well, to have a big number for the protect, I also run 2 Imperial Daughter. When placed, counterblast 1, look at 2 cards from the top of your deck, put 1 card from among them into your hand, and put 1 card from among them into your soul or on the top of your deck. And if you rode from a grade 3, this unit gets plus 15 and extra critical until the end of turn. And then a once per turn soul blast, and one of your units gets plus 6,000 to the end of turn. She's just, I would say, more powerful card to go on the offensive, along with Zozo, obviously. But if you need that extra critical power, she definitely does come in handy, just as an added backup, since I also do like the big number of grade 3s in the deck to utilize the protect marker count you can need and want for your Zozo and Coco plays, obviously. And then for the grade 2s, since it is a Witch deck, I wanted to have as many Witch cards as possible just to use with Coco's ability. So I run 4 Topaz Witch PP. During your turn, if your hand has 4 or more cards, this unit gets plus 2,000. And when rode upon by a unit with Witch in its card name, you can Soul Blast 1 and draw a card. So if you ride Coco on top of her, it gives you that extra draw along with Coco's ability. And then the plus 10, most of the time if you ride her on Vanguard during your grade 2 ride, you should have the plus 10 power with the amount of cards on your hand, as long as you didn't early guard, which usually you shouldn't have to if you're still on a grade 1 Vanguard. So you'll usually have that plus 10,000 when you go up against force decks or anything else of the matter. And I also run 4 Yellow Witch Mimi with this one. When placed, look at the top card of your deck and put it on the top or bottom of your deck. I actually completely forgot about this witch. It was actually in Unite Q4. I wanted to make sure I had all my options available to me with my witch cards to play. So 4 of her, it's a rearguard only effect, but that card can really help to set up a trigger or just a needed unit that you may want to drive check into or draw. So this card really does help at a 4, and the fact that it's a witch means that's another potential card to discard for those protect markers with Coco as well. And then for the last grade 2 option, I wanted and also debated what to run, whether Silent Tom or Rectangle Magus. I decided to go with her, just for that additional draw power. When placed, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, look at 2 cards from the top of your deck, put them on the top of your deck in any order, and then draw a card. And when your drive check reveals a trigger unit, this unit gets plus 5,000 to the end of turn. So regardless of what deck she's in, she just provides that power boost and that draw power and deck setup. So I decided to stick with her for the final option for your grade 2 lineup. And then for the grade 1s, I run 4 Sprout Witch Roto. So this one is another of the new Witch units, and a rearguard effect. When the attack it boosts hits a Vanguard, you can Counterblast 1, put this unit into your soul, and draw a card. And from your soul, when your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Witch in its card name is placed, you can Soul Blast 1 and call this card from your soul to rear. So with that Vanguard play in place and you ride Coco, you should have plenty of effects ready to go off, whether it be the call and just that draw power for your soul is great setup because you invest in the draw, and then come next turn when you have your Witch Vanguard setup, you can recall this out to the field to reuse with its own effect. An 8K grade 1 that definitely does come in handy with the deck overall. So a definite 4 of in the deck, just for once again going off of the Topaz Witch PP and also the Yellow Witch Mimi. Aside from the grade 3s, these are the only witches in the deck that we have for standard format, so I wanted to run as many numbers as I could of those cards in the deck just to fully go all out with all the witches we have to run in the deck. And then for backup grade 1s, I also run 3 Tetra Magus. With this one, when placed, if your Vanguard is a grade 3 or greater, you Counterblast 1, draw a card, reveal up to 1 critical trigger from your hand, put it on the top of your deck. So it's not really a witch, Magus effect, obviously. So you can easily use this in any Oracle Think Tank deck, and this one especially. Just that critical trigger setup is good in any kind of deck, being able to drive check it just to get more pressure for sure. So great grade 1 for that backup rear guard play that you can do. It definitely does help out with all the different plays you may want to do. And also kind of scattered on the rest of the grade 1 lineup. You can mix around these last couple numbers how you want. I wanted to test out all 3 of the grade 1s. So I have 2 Circle Magus in the deck just for good ride options. We didn't really have too many other grade 1s that really valued the grade 1 ride. But if you don't have any Circle Magus, you can replace it with the next option that I place. It's just the drive check, being able to draw better cards off of it when you reveal a grade 2 or greater, and the Ren Rotopon Counterblast 1 draw a card definitely does come in handy as well. But if you don't have any Circle Magus, you can also run 4 Miko of Elegance Fumino. I have her at 2, but you can, like I said, replace Circle for 2 more of her. It's a Vanguard or Rearguard effect when placed. You Soul Blast 1, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 grade 3 from among them, and put it on the top of your deck. Shuffle the rest of the cards and put them on the bottom of your deck, and this unit gets plus 2,000 till the end of turn. So really, really good just for that setup if you need your grade 3, which are very important cards for this deck. And you can also set up which one you want to get off of the top of your deck. So just being able to have this effect on Vanguard or rear means you don't have to ride any other cards. You have your Soul Blast ready to go with your starter as well. So having that plus 10k power, also just a good kind of strategy for the boosts, especially on rearguard. Most of the time on Vanguard, when you either are attacking with this, your opponent shouldn't be at anything stronger than a 8k, but there are some of those times with especially Excel decks when you're going up against them, if they have that 9k power unit, that Soul Blast 2 can definitely come in handy just to have it a guaranteed hit and not have to rely on getting a trigger. And then lastly, for the grade 1s, I also run 2 Oracle Guardian Gemini from rear. If you have 3 or more cards in your damage, put this unit into your soul, and you countercharge 1. So just help to reuse, since we do counterblast for a good amount of cards in the deck. So just 2 Gemini to help with that damage zone unflipping and the soul buildup as well. And then for the grade 0s, the standard trigger lineup for most decks. So the Lozenji Magus, just for the Road Upon Draw effect, like all standard decks. And then I also run 8 critical, so 4 Psychic Birds, and also 4 Oracle Guardian Nike. Like I said, standard triggers that are the only ones for Oracle Think Tank. And then I also run the 4 Miss Perfect Guard draw trigger as well. And lastly, also 4 Sphere Magus. I at least do prefer that it was a Magus card for that deck, but sadly no Witch triggers, which would have been really, really cool as well, just to help out. But I think they knew what they were doing, you know, not giving us any of those options, just so we don't overuse Kogo's effect, obviously. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoy the video. I was looking at working on some other decks for, you know, Oracle Think Tank, including maybe a premium version of Magus for the channel. So definitely look forward to that. But until then, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Qualia out.